My friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. I think we can all agree at this point that Cody Rhodes' current WWE Undisputed Championship reign has been pretty boring. So hopefully Drew McIntyre and what's leading up to War Games can really spice up this feud and his title reign, and then eventually Cody can lose the title to Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre can carry that title through WrestleMania season into WrestleMania, where he faces Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Championship. I think that would be great. I think Cody Rhodes losing the title and getting involved in a really serious feud with Randy Orton could be really good for his career, get him away from the title picture, keep him in something meaningful and powerful and main event worthy, give him a really strong match at WrestleMania, but get him away from that Undisputed Championship for a while and then bring him back to it maybe post-WrestleMania season, depending on how the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton feud goes. But I think it's been a little stale. I would have given Drew McIntyre the title a while ago, WrestlePalooza, the next PLE, but now after War Games, maybe he'll lose it at Royal Rumble. So potentially you'll see Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes wrestle at Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre will win based on some involvement from Cody Rhodes, whether inadvertent or on purposely costing Cody Rhodes the championship. They go off. Maybe Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it might be a Braun Breaker, potentially an LA Knight. Roman Reigns doesn't necessarily need to win the Royal Rumble to main event WrestleMania. He's the aura. He has all the aura. He's the god of WWE. He can sort of just pick any champion he wants to wrestle, and that's it. So I think it should be Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. But I just want to make that clear about Cody Rhodes and his championship, because on the November 21st edition of Friday Night SmackDown, we saw a little bit of action, bloodied, getting beat up, some more intensity from Drew McIntyre. We also saw some more intensity from Cody Rhodes, which I liked. It's giving a good build-up to the War Games match, and continually on Friday Night SmackDown, what's usually the best segment is the open challenge, whether it's John Cena, whether it's Sami Zayn, or whether it's Ilya Dragunov. The United States Open Challenge has been continually the best sort of match of the night, and so I hope SmackDown continues to do that. But the November 21st edition of SmackDown was also really good because it just had a lot of wrestling. It had 4 really good professional wrestling matches. It had some advancement in storylines. You saw AJ Lee and Becky Lynch get announced for War Games, and those teams got squared away, and good stuff actually happened on this edition of Friday Night SmackDown. I still don't think they should move to 3 hours. I think they should just create 2 hours of really good television and then build from there. So I'm actually looking forward to War Games. The men's and women's War Games matches have so much star power. It's actually ridiculous. I think the bad guys or the heels on the men's side should win, and I think the good guys or the baby faces on the women's side should win, but we'll see how it all shakes out. Stephanie McCool should handily beat Nikki Bella. Obviously, I think John Cena will retain his Intercontinental Championship and then take that into his very last match, where he'll lose it against the eventual winner of the Last Time Is Now tournament. And speaking of the Last Time Is Now tournament, we have some very clear brackets heading into these last few spots. It was actually unfortunate because Sheamus got injured, and so his spot got replaced. And then on the 21st, on November 21st, that edition of Friday Night SmackDown, they also filmed the Black Friday edition of Friday Night SmackDown to give talent some time off. So I will be saying some spoilers here, but not huge spoilers, just some spoilers from those matches, because I don't know how many people are going to be watching SmackDown on Black Friday. Maybe it's a great day to watch it. I'll most likely watch it and comment on it again, but there were some spoilers from that. So Sheamus got injured, so he's not in the tournament anymore. Miz replaced him, so you're going to see the Miz versus LA Knight in a match on that Black Friday edition of Friday Night SmackDown. But as things shake out right now, on the November 24th edition of Monday Night Raw, you're going to see Solo Sikoa versus Penta, because Penta beat Finn Balor on Friday Night SmackDown. You're going to see Gunther versus Carmelo Hayes, because Carmelo Hayes, with the help of Cody Rhodes, beat Brunson Reed, and in those 2 matches, Solo's going to win and Gunther is going to win. Those aren't spoilers. Monday Night Raw hasn't happened yet. That's my predictions. Solo and Gunther are going to move on to the next round. Those are quarterfinal matchups. And then you go into what's actually happened on the November 28th edition of Friday Night SmackDown, which is the Black Friday edition, which won't be live, which already got filmed. Because like I said, Sheamus is out. Miz replaced him. And so LA Knight is going to end up beating The Miz in that match, and he's going to move on. So LA Knight is in the semifinals. That's guaranteed. And then Jey Uso versus Rusev in the quarterfinals. Again, I don't know why they keep having Jey Uso win. I originally thought The Miz should have beat Jey Uso. Didn't, but now The Miz gets another chance against LA Knight. Still, he loses again, even though The Miz has a very historic and long-standing feud with John Cena. He beat him at WrestleMania 27, but they keep giving Jey Uso the win after win after win after win for no reason. He's already going to War Games. He doesn't need to win this tournament. He doesn't even need to go deep in this tournament. But anyway, so LA Knight is going to beat The Miz, and Jey Uso is going to beat Rusev, which again I think is a horrible, bad decision on WWE's part. Rusev versus Gunther in the finals of the tournament would have been fucking awesome. Rusev versus Gunther in the semifinals of the tournament would have been fucking awesome. But now we're going to have to see another Jey Uso versus Gunther match. Another one. So I think the semifinals for each are going to be LA Knight versus Solo and Jey Uso versus Gunther. Hopefully they switch it around and we get LA Knight versus Gunther and Jey Uso versus Solo. And I think hopefully then that's what you're going to see. But I think they want LA Knight in the finals, so you're going to probably see LA Knight versus Solo and Jey Uso versus Gunther, and then maybe my prediction would be Gunther versus LA Knight, and then you might have an LA Knight win. LA Knight beating Gunther is a pretty big deal, and then LA Knight beating John Cena, becoming Intercontinental Champion and retiring John Cena really puts him in a different stratosphere, which could propel him then to maybe win the Royal Rumble and also main event WrestleMania against CM Punk, who they're generating like a little bit of babyface type feud energy. And so I pray to God that the finals are not Jey Uso versus LA Knight. No, please, God, no. Gunther has to win, and hopefully he beats Jey Uso. I think Solo's a really strong contender for actually winning the tournament. So you might see him beat LA Knight. You might see some things happen here that cause one of the other person to win. But I do think they want to have a babyface versus a heel in the finals. So you're not going to see a Solo versus a Gunther. They're both heels. You're probably going to see an LA Knight versus a Gunther, and then most likely Gunther is going to win, and then he's going to retire John Cena on December 13th, and he's going to have retired Goldberg and John Cena in the same calendar year, and then he's going to beat Goldberg. Then he's going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. That's my predictions here and now, based on the spoilers that we saw from the November 28th edition of Friday Night SmackDown. And that's what I think moving forward. That's my thoughts on War Games and Drew McIntyre and the Last Time Is Now tournament, which again is John Cena's final match, which happens on December 13th. But I'd love to know what you think. What comes next for all of these people? Who's a better final opponent for John Cena? Is it Gunther? Is it Jey Uso? Is it Solo? Is it LA Knight? Right? I thought Rusev would have been a great one. I thought The Miz would have been a great one, but those guys at this point are out of the tournament. We will see them wrestle again on the Friday Night SmackDown. But what is your take? What is your take on the whole thing? You know my opinion, so drop that in the comments down below. Then like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love.